Gender-based violence. Do you know what it is? Do you agree that it exists? That a woman has a very different experience to a man in this world when it comes to this? Let's check this out. Okay, so this topic keeps coming up on my radar, gender-based violence, and this difference that a man is experiencing in life compared to a woman when it comes to this area of sex and how they are treated. Now, I don't think I've explained it perfectly well there, but that's the point of this video, for us to get into it. There's a video that I've now come across which is very well put together, and that's going to help us understand this more, and then let's chat about it after. The video is 1.5 minutes, so nice and quick. It's been filmed properly. Let's get into it.
Oi, look at her. Very nice! Yeah, she's alright.
Yeah, no worries. See you soon. Bye.
Watch it, look. Hey, beautiful. Gives a smile. Bet you look much prettier when you smile. Hey, don't ignore me. Come on, love. Think you're better than me, yeah? You're not even that fit. What, you're not going to invite me now?
Yeah, you're asking for it dressed like that.
Are we off tonight? She definitely wants it.
Oh, he's sexy.
Do you think this is okay?
Okay. Some great information at the end of that video, by the way, right? With the statistics, which we're going to get to in a moment. I felt a little bit ashamed of myself that I couldn't explain very well gender-based violence just before we kicked off that video. Surely that highlights so much of the problem straight away, that I couldn't, even though I'm talking about these topics all the time, I couldn't explain properly, clearly. I couldn't articulate what gender-based violence is. That's a problem. So the video shows us that a woman's experience is completely different to a man's in this respect, because men don't get all of that wolf whistling and catcalling and verbal harassment, physical harassment like that, like the girls do. It must be such a challenging life when you are experiencing guys treating you like that. I never ever thought of this when I was a young man. I never thought about it when I was a young lad. I never ever thought about this. It was never ever on my radar. There was nothing in schools that talked about it. There's nothing on TV that talked about it. It's so crazy. Can you imagine just... Look, this video does it so well. This girl is just going out for a jog and she's getting hassled. A picture gets taken of her and it's sent to people's WhatsApp groups. The catcalling, And then when she doesn't respond, she gets shouted at. Where is the problem here? Where's the problem? The problem is definitely originating from one of the ways, one of the areas I believe it's originating from is just culture. Young lads see the older lads or the older men doing this, talking about females in this way, in a derogatory way, in a way that they are here for our sexual pleasure. And then let's say that young lad is 15, 17, 19, and that just repeat that behaviour. And I feel like some people are going to be like, well, they should know the right and wrong. They should know that that's not acceptable behaviour. And I agree with that comment to a certain extent. But if no one's ever stopped them in their tracks and told them that it's not acceptable behaviour, or should I say, if everyone around them behaves like that, they may know that to some people that's not acceptable behaviour, but within their peer groups and community, it's okay to do that. What we need is a celebrity to come out and start calling this behaviour out. I just think it's almost like the celebrities have just got so much influence in this area. So much influence. And then we start to think about if the music industry, the lyrics in songs are contributing to this culture. Would you say that it's getting better or worse? Sorry, I don't mean the music here. I've just jumped topic. Do you think in general, it's getting better or it's getting worse? I'm going to say better. And I'm going to say that 50 years ago, it was so much worse. But I also am going to say that it's nowhere near where it can be. Because those statistics at the end of that video should be 0%. You know, there shouldn't even be 1% if we can just control our behaviour. Now, I just skipped topic there, right? And there was a reason for that. So let's jump back. And that is the music thing. The lyrics in videos. The music videos. So sexualized. And you know, in particular, you hear hip-hop artists really talking about women in a way that I'm guessing the feminist movement would be appalled by. But it's just a funny thing when it comes to art forms, because you may really disagree with my views on this, or the way I think about this currently. Remember, it's current views at the time I'm recording this, and I'm always happy to be shown a different avenue and for me to change my way of thinking, just to put that out there. But when it comes to art forms, people are just expressing themselves. They're just talking about how they feel and how they behave. And no artist ever asked to be a role model. And you can broaden that. No sportsman ever asked to be a role model. They just want to be great at their art form and expressing themselves. And if that means they think of women in this way and they make music about it and it becomes popular, are we shouting at the artist for that? I don't know. I don't know. Should artists be held accountable for that? Or should we be getting better at communicating that behaviour is not okay, and then maybe before that artist forms those opinions and puts them in their songs, they have a change of mind? I don't know. But anyway, I find that really interesting. Let's hit the statistics on the end of this video, right? Let's check them out again because they're very interesting. Okay. 70% of women of all ages in the UK have experienced some form of sexual harassment in a public space. That is from the UN Women UK 2021. Now, one thing I feel like we should always consider when looking at statistics is how many occurrences of sexual harassment are not reported. And however big this survey is, let's say it's 1,000 women they asked, not everybody's going to want to, rightly so, give maybe the truest answer. So I always think that these statistics are hugely conservative. But anyway, let's go with what it says. 71% of women of all ages in the UK have experienced some form of sexual harassment in a public space. Now, when I noticed that all of this started blowing up on the internet about the Me Too movement, let's say, I heard some comments of, just get over it. It was just a touch on the bum. It happened 20 years ago. All of those attitudes are old school, outdated, and not useful. I feel like a lot of those attitudes come from us men. And that's because we don't bear the brunt of sexual harassment in public. And then you get the kind of like laddish culture replying of, well, if I walked down the street and girls were touching my bum, I'd love it. It is that laddish culture. It's that laddish culture. It would be great if we could just inform men that to be a respectable man and an honourable man, this is not the way to behave. And I'm talking from personal experience, okay? I'm talking from personal experience because I had no awareness of this in my 20s. No awareness. Looking at women or talking about women with my mates, looking at them or considering them as in ways that you would not be proud to broadcast that you behaved in that way. Okay, next statistic. The number rises to 86% amongst 18 to 24-year-olds. Okay, so it's rising the younger that they are. And you can only imagine what's going on online. I mean, you just can't even believe it. You can only imagine the harassment that girls are getting for their Instagram profiles and any other social media where they're putting themselves out there. Oh my goodness. The messages they must be receiving must be... it must be constant. Especially if they are posting pictures. Let's say they post pictures of themselves in revealing clothing. And then you get that response again that is, well, they're asking for it. Or they shouldn't post pictures of themselves in revealing clothing, which they're doing to catch people's attention. And then when they get attention, of the wrong sort, they don't like it. And you'll see that I smile somewhat when I talk about that laddish culture, and in my previous point when I talked about that laddish culture, I got a bit of a smile on it. And the reason why that is because I'm like, we're just so far from sorting this. So far from sorting this. What's encouraging the men to be like this? And the thing that I talk about quite a bit on my channels, and actually I haven't made that much content about it recently, is the porn industry. You know, it's something I always think. Aren't the feminist movements of any sort going after the porn industry? Because, I mean, come on, 99% of the videos that are on there are objectifying women for their bodies. It's the man using the woman to get what he wants. That's like all the porn, right? All the widely available porn. Are anybody in any type of feminist movement not creating a massive fuss about this? Surely that's like one of the number one priorities, because every man watches hours of it a week. And for anybody that thinks it's not going to influence them, anything you watch, anything you read, anything you listen changes the structure of your brain. I mean, we got to all agree on that. Anything you eat, anything you do during the day, the way you sleep, it's all affecting your personality. Okay. There's one more statistic on here. Where's it gone? Over 95% of all women did not report their experiences of sexual harassment. Now, that statistic, I am not criticizing that statistic. I'm pretty sure that's going to be about right. But I always wonder how they prove that. Because, well, I suppose if you asked 1,000 women who had been harassed, if they had reported it, is the way you prove that. But it just made me think about, they say that 90% of all child abuse is unreported. And I don't know how they worked that one out. If they haven't reported it, then you don't know that they even existed. So the numbers are high. And by the way, this video is created by this Manchester, the Greater Manchester. Wait 1 second while that bar removes itself. The government, something to do with the government in Greater Manchester, and one of my good friends in this mission of changing these things, called Emma Swan, she runs an organisation called Thrive. Check her out, Thrive Safe on Instagram. They are doing another thing this year, so they're pumping a lot of money into this, because a video like that is not quick to make and it's not cheap to make. So women have a completely different experience in life compared to men when it comes to catcalling, wolf whistling, harassment, abuse online. Like, it's a completely different experience. And if anything, if us guys could just appreciate that, maybe we could then understand that that's a pretty rubbish experience to be having continually throughout your life. That's a pretty damn rubbish experience to be having. And maybe if we can appreciate that as guys, then we can be a bit more aware of our own behaviour and just stop making women's lives troublesome in this way. Maybe we'll stop there. Thank you.